isn't this thing done yet? Dan here, D's Beach Up. So, 67 Camaro. Been working diligently at this thing, and every day I feel like I'm out here and I'm working and I'm working and I'm working, and we're just not, it's not done. Anyway, I actually did a few things off camera just because it's faster and there was some boredom involved. I painted all in here with some rust converting paint. So that's all set up. It can be top coated, but I can't imagine why I ever would. I just want that taken care of. What else did I do? Oh, I welded up some, you guys won. You win, internet. Now, I probably didn't do it the way you wanted to, but I kind of fish plated the frame. I didn't do like a triangle thing. I just did a square, you know, 2 holes I drilled in, fill it full of weld. It'll be good enough. I'm sure someone's going to comment how it's wrong, but I did that both sides, and I'm happy with that. I greased up the windows so they work a little bit more properly. Man, I hope there's no scratches or anything on here from all the grinding I was doing. Maybe one of these times I'll change that. So today the plan is, I'm hoping, my goal is, all these, for it to be the last under the car awful video for myself. I know it's quality entertainment for you guys, don't get me wrong, I'm talking my own self. We're gonna be doing rockers, which actually is I do enjoy rockers, so we'll be doing that. I would like to get the trunk, I don't want to call them braces, but tank braces. I have a pair of these. So this goes kind of underneath the trunk. It actually attaches to the back panel, and I guess just stiffens it up, and as well, that's where the fuel tank will sit. We'll go from there. I have my floor jack or high jacks, screw jacks out. The reason being, we're gonna do the rockers, and the rockers come in kind of 2 bits. There's your outer and your inner. The inner needs a little bit of repair, but the outer has to come off, and I am concerned that there's a fair amount of strength in the outer rocker, and I just don't want the car to have any more weight on it than it needs. So by putting this at the back of the frame, we're gonna keep it exactly where it is. We'll just do one side at a time, and it's probably overkill for how much this car has been cut apart. Is absolutely ridiculous. I'd like to get both rockers taken care of. Then we have to get a little bit of love in this area right here. That's where the spring, the front pocket is. So we got to weld in some nuts, get that all taken care of, and maybe brace it up a little. And then on upcoming videos we can start hanging suspension in this thing, fuel tank in, all that. But I'd like to get most of the welding done if we can, get prepared for quarters, and we can get, right now everything's apart, is the perfect time to like treat it with rust coating or rust converter and then undercoat it and all those things, make it look nice before we're, once the rear end's in there, you get overspray on things and all that. I'd like for this thing to be, at this point, a little bit more time. You've sold me on the front end being painted, so I might as well try and paint everything and do my best, because it actually does look really good. That looks terrible, this looks good. I can admit it. Don't get me wrong, we're not starting off DD restoration, hillbilly backyard garage, but we'll paint things on this car. So I'm gonna get set up. The first thing I have to do is actually change where I have this lifted, because it's sitting on the rockers, and I'm gonna change it so it sits maybe on the perch, somewhere like right there, which is also very strong. So we'll have all the room we need, and decide what we're gonna do to cut this out. Again, the rockers on these things are structural, so we have to decide where we're gonna join them. I don't know if I'm gonna do the whole rocker, do it in sections. I have all sorts of questions and concerns. I do think sections is probably the way to do it, but we'll see. I'm gonna think about it. Be back shortly. So here is the plan. So these rockers are pretty good units. They go all the way from the top and wrap around the bottom. They're very sturdy. The issue we run into, well, it's my own issue, I guess. I guess I could cut this out. So, I'm having second thoughts. Maybe I should. I was originally going to join it right here, but if I cut this section out, just weld it back in after, I can put the rocker right in and weld it anywhere I want in here. No one's ever gonna see. All this is hidden, again, by the outer quarter panel. So if I join it around here, that's what I was thinking about doing, was joining it right here. Because the factory top, it's spot welded, and which is fine, but it's in really good shape. I don't know why I would want to change this. I mean, honestly, it's fine. So to change it is pointless. So I was thinking about cutting in right here, welding it all the way across, and then at the front, I would just go around where the, whatever the A-pillar is, chunk, chunk, weld all in there. It wouldn't be factory, so I do tri-5s. So, you know what's right. Do that, then cut it right down at the front of the rocker, and then butt weld that. But what that does, and this is my own thinking, because if you look at the panel here, it wraps around, it actually goes up into the cowl. So to change that would be a lot of work to use the panel as it is. So if we cut it and butt it, that means it's in the right spot going forward. So, and this car actually fit together pretty good. The door and the sill, the door's open right now so it doesn't match up, but the sill will be exactly where it was. This is the factory sill, hasn't been messed with, so why screw up the alignment? So if I join it there, on the bottom, we'll grind it all out and then it just plug welds in. Goes all the way back, same thing. And if we do go up in here, which maybe is the plan, put that all in, it'll be factory location and all the work will be hidden under there, no one cares. And then up top, weld it in there and all the way across. This will be covered by carpet and a sill plate. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Hang on. Check it. Well, that's a little bent, but this is how that goes. So if I cut it anywhere past this little doohickey, whatever I do in there, no one's ever gonna see. So it'll be little to no body work involved in this. So it'll probably save me a bunch of time. I'll be able to repair the inner rocker if needed, but I'll still leave lots of strength in this thing because we'll have kind of the top bit of the rocker, which is all folded, and that's really the strength of metal, right, when it's all bent. So we'll have that section left, and I won't feel too bad. That being said, we do have it supported in 6 different spots. I don't think there's any real load on the thing trying to bend in half, but I'm just gonna start blindly cutting and see if the car talks to me. Look at all this time I wasted yesterday putting this in just to cut it out. Well, I guess I'll have to use part of it if I'm gonna weld to it. But yeah, I think this is coming out. Yep. All right, panel's off. I didn't record all of it. I got the big bits cut out and then had to grind all the spot welds off and get her down to some good metal. Actually, so what it is, I thought it was like some sort of inner rocker. It's like a little brace thing, which spot welds up into, has it front and back. So that's the front of the rocker I left. We're just gonna join it up in there and then straight across. I took this stuff out. I think what I'm probably gonna do actually, because again, the jam and all that kind of runs in here. I'll cut this up over you know, whatever, do that. And then I'll just cut the new rocker, which is this side up, that side up, as I was saying. So I'm gonna cut this one right on the edge of this little doohickey, so it should go pretty straight. We'll cut it where we've got to cut there. And then on the bottom side, we'll just jog it in and go. Now, before I do that, I'm gonna hit this real quick with some, that rust converter, get all up in there. I mean, this is still really good metal. There's no problems there. Even down here, look at that, we found the solid metal in the car. We only had to go, you know, 2/3 of the way, halfway. You spray a little oil on that seat belt bolt so it can come out down the road instead of having to deal with that. And yeah, we'll start test fitting the other one. It should actually go, I'm hoping, rather quickly. It only kind of fits one way. We'll end up clamping it to the bottom a bunch in place, and I'll fold it over, and we're just gonna, since we're butt welding it, it should all work out. A few attack welds. So that's what's coming up next. Up here is pretty good. It has a little, you know, whoop-de-doo, it goes over, but it all cleaned up nice. Pretty strong. I don't think there's any issues. These all rot out in the cowl, and this one's decent. So I'm done cutting into this thing. Oh, and I don't know if I showed this. I cut this out. Where did I put it? My problem is my storage. Oh, there we go. So once we get that all dialed together, we'll just weld this back in. Like that. And no one will ever know. Well, except for you weirdos who watch this. Okay, let's get after it. There is a lot of new metal on this car. Anywho, so we got the rocker on. It fits. I'm just gonna put a glove on here. It fits pretty good. The problem, everything is new. Everything is out of alignment. Everything is a problem. It's gonna be what's gonna be. It fits the door pretty close. It may be in a little, but it's lined up here with the front rocker. That's the main reason I did this. Was this rocker is going on, at least in the front, the exact same that it was on the, you know, the old rocker. It's obviously buttoned up right up against the inner rocker. Around back here, it's got to go up just a little bit, but we're pretty damn close. And that was all factory steel to be right up against it. I mean, it's the thickness of the steel, so whatever that is. Under here, all these holes I drilled, they're right up against the little support. So it can't go up anymore. It can't go in anymore. Have it lined up here. I just use vice grips, but I mean that nice little bead there. I cut just a little short there. You know, all the mistakes I made, that's not bad. Yeah, I mean, it goes up. It's pretty good. I think I'm okay with it. At least to the point where I'm gonna go ahead and weld it all in. Yeah, I mean, there's only so much fitment you can do. I guess if this was a professional shop, maybe you would have that all tacked, put the quarter on, double check everything, seal your gaps and everything, carry on. But I am over that. At this point, I'll fix it with weld or body filler or a hammer, or I'll cut it and redo it. I mean, I don't know. The door, you know, it does its thing. I don't know. I think it's well and truly fine. And if it's not, then I'll slit it, widen it, lift it, push it, whatever, and re-weld it down the road. But that is not tonight. And this in here, this has to be done because this is covered by the quarter panel. So the other thing, which obviously we're running into, the quality of the sheet metal. Everyone says, I'm not saying it's bad quality, but they all need to be tweaked. This thing has got so much new metal on it. We have rockers, wheel tubs, the frame's been modified, you know, the quarter panel, the doors, everything, everything. And they're all from different suppliers, whoever had whatever. It's just gonna kind of be what it's gonna be. I think it looks pretty good. I'm confident enough that this could easily be a flat black hot rod if that's the way we go, or fixed up with a little bit of, you know, expert body work like I am good at. Okay, I'm gonna set this up, weld it in, and it's time for a break. Danny's been cooking, and I've been hungry. Well, we got her all in, and I'm sure there's people judging how I put this in. I didn't go right to the pinch weld and all that, and the way I joined it. And you know what? Such is life. Feel free to put a link to your own video where you install rockers on a first generation Camaro to my email or something like that. I will watch it, and I'll judge you. You know what I've learned, and this has been the car especially, is, you know, do whatever makes the most amount of sense. Don't necessarily rely on the entire panel. Try and keep as much of the car as you can, and I think you'll be further ahead. Joining it in an area that can't be seen. I mean, obviously, I picked this area instead of here or wherever else, just because that's gonna, you know, be the easiest for body work and stuff after. But that's that. I think it'll be pretty good. The other side of the door is super loose and all that, but looks like it fits adequate. We got some grinding to do. This side was the bad side. The door's super, well, she's loose. Let me just take the door off on this side actually, because this door falls in on me. So we'll have to do the same thing, cut all that out, join it all up. We'll join it in the same area, do everything. Honestly, it'd be a lot easier to do with the door off. And since we can't use the door to fit anything, it's irrelevant to have it on. This one I did start to patch. It's actually not bad, the front here. But we'll use the panel, same deal. Grafted in there. All back here was garbage. This one does have that little kick down, is pretty beat up. So we'll see how much of that we can save. And I'll probably just have to weld a piece on and join something together. But we'll do this one in fast motion. I'm sure it'll take me a couple hours, but we got that taken care of tonight, and I think I'm gonna call it. That's a lot of ugly work. And then yeah, tomorrow, fuel tank, fuel odds and ends, welding, seam sealing, painting. Whew. It looks no different, but we are making progress, I promise. Okay, so I got this sucker welded. I didn't solid weld this one for a few reasons. God, I look good. I want everything on the back of this, from the, you can't see it, but the inner rocker, the center support and all that, I made all of it. So, and obviously this is new, that is new. There's nothing factory to kind of gauge where the rocker should be. Now in the front, obviously we lined up there and everything across there, so I welded that in pretty solid. This, I didn't want to weld it just in case this has to kind of go up and down a little. Now that being said, the little lap over is right in line with the wheel tub. The wheel tub has a little kind of whoop-de-doo, which is right where this kind of goes on the other side. It should be pretty dang close, but you know what, just in case, I want to test fit the quarter panel before we final weld that. So that'll be probably the next video, and you know, put the door on and everything just to kind of double check. Anyways, I'm done for the night. That being said, I know I talk about it lots, but fire safety, we did a bunch of welding today. There's a bunch of miscellaneous, I mean, just the stuff in these cars is crazy. Give her, you know, half hour, 20 minutes before you go in. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clean up these gas tank braces. So drill some holes in the side. You know, we'll just plug weld this right into the floor, so that'll save me some time for tomorrow anyways. Clean those up, drill some holes, and then call it a night. Be back at it tomorrow, and tomorrow I want to get the, we'll get the tank in, see if we can get the wheel tubs locked into place, welded, maybe filled. That's gonna be a bit of a boring, ugly job. And then we have to peel just a little bit of this floor back and finalize our pad mounts. And then all the ugly underneath work, we can seam seal, maybe even do a little bit of paint. Maybe look fancy, and then kind of call her a day. So that's my plan. I have high hopes. We'll see you tomorrow. New day of hot garbage. So this is the old floor out of the car, trunk floor. Dan here, new day. As you can see, these are the little braces that we're gonna be welding in. So they fit on the bottom of the floor, and then they kind of line up with the top of the tank here. And you can tell these old boys, no sense of safety. Welded in, I love it. So this tank's obviously had it. Now underneath, these things, these straps, they do have to be in the correct position to saddle the tank. But when you get under here, it becomes very apparent. I haven't knocked this one all the way over, but that's where the old one welded in. It's got this little, you know, kind of nook it wants to be in, and then it's basically just centered up in this spot. Obviously, it kind of rolls over with the floor, so that'll be pretty simple. So we'll knock that in. We'll grind everything. I got a bunch of, you know, I drilled a pile of holes in it to plug weld it all into the floor. And that'll be pretty much it. I want to get that taken care of. We got to seam weld this side of the frame, do a little bit of cleanup welding. We have to get that pocket all dialed together with a couple of new nuts in it. We'll do the top section later. And then we got to pull the wheel tubs over and weld those up. I got to actually kind of clean up in there a little, but this should be kind of not too bad. Just put a big clamp on it, you know, weld it. I think I'm going to seam weld the whole thing in as much as I possibly can. So it's got, again, we're going to use these wheel tubs as like a little bit of structure. And once we get that, grind everything, seam seal it, we should be able to like undercoat under here, which will be kind of something. That'll be a pretty big moment. And we'll let that sit for a day or so, and then we can get on to like skinning the whole car, the back half of the car. So yeah. All right, well, let's get this this all dialed. I think what I'm gonna do is just give a tack weld front and back on both of these brackets. I'll take that tank, just kind of hold up, make sure it's, you know, in the ballpark as long as it's close. It does have some wiggle room to it. As long as they line up, weld them up, be done with it. Pretty simple start. Okay, so we got the pieces in. You can see the weld marks. They lined up pretty good. This one I think was just a little behind or ahead. I forget whatever it was, but like 1/4 inch or something. It's 1/8 of an inch. It'll be fine. Be fine. So now what I'm doing, I got this. I just want to try this, see if it's gonna work out. So I had to pull the wheel tub over to get in line with the frame. You can see there's actually still a gap at the front. So I'll have to re-rig. But I just welded a washer, ratchet strap over the other side, pull it where I want, because it's going to have a bit of a goofy shape. Again, these are meant to fit very different than I put them in. But this way I should be able to just seam weld that in, take the washer off, go ahead a little bit, go across. And I'm only going to go to, well, about where that brace is. And then the slope down, I guess I can show you. I'm going to cut all that metal out, like this section here, and I'm going to plate that all the way into here with some thick steel, just overlap it, and then weld that all into the tub. So it'll be super strong, because that'll join like the trunk floor, the frame, the tub, all the way up into the front little pocket area where the leaf spring's going to bolt in. I don't know how these were originally joined. I gotta say the old ones basically fell out because they were so rotten. So I don't know if they were, I can't imagine they were seam welded. But now, I mean, we're gonna have all this welded together. I mean, it's, she'll be sturdy. This one obviously is just floating there once it's all welded to the floor. And realistically, the frame actually runs right with it. So we're tying it into the top of the floor, which is actually tied into the frame itself. I still got a seam weld actually the underside of the frame there, but everything is just welded to everything. And that's good, I guess. Hopefully it'll take some of the flex out of this car. And then I'm thinking, maybe I should tie the rear subframe to the front subframe. I don't know. It's up in the air yet. Well, I am deep into welding. Wheel tubs are 100% pretty well taken care of it in there. Like, they ain't going nowhere. End up going, actually up to there to fit not too bad. So that worked out. Those are good little tubs. I'm happy with it. This side I had to put a little patch in. It was a little ugly, but it'll be fine. Seam sealer hides all. I was looking at this little area there. I cut that out. That's where the perch is going to bolt to. Unfortunately, that's where I have the car currently lifted by, so I got to change all that. I may just do that. I mean, it literally just needs a couple of nuts welded in. It's super simple. That's not a big deal. Maybe I'll do that when I'm putting in the perches, because this side I might build like a big washer, like out of, some flat steel, and put it in there so it distributes the weight across it all and kind of double layers it. But it's actually in really nice shape. That's probably an overthought. Yeah, everything in here is all taken care of. Worked out pretty good. So I think the next thing is clean all the junk out of it. Underneath, I have to clean up a little bit of weld. On the back side of where I joined, the trunk floor hasn't been touched yet, so I got to clean that up. Belt sand a few things. I have to clean up the bottom side where the trunk drops are. And not that it has to happen right this second, but I like to do that. I like to seam seal everything, let that kind of dry, and then I think I'm just going to like truck bed coat it. And I'd like to do that essentially from like the perches back. So it'd be seam sealed, painted, top and bottom, done. Nothing to worry about. The only thing I won't touch will be the trunk drops. I think that's it. I won't do the wheel tubs just yet inside the tubs in case I want to do something or move them around or cut or whatever, but that should be kind of it. And then we can get all this, all this junk, all this bare metal, whatever, prevent it from rusting. I think this thing's gonna have a pretty easy life. I would assume anyways for the rest of its life. I mean, let's be honest, it's a Camaro that'll be perfectly restored in today's day and age, so it probably will last, well, as long as I'm around. And then if it does go sideways, it'll be because it's sideways into a lamp post, and at that point, who cares? So go ahead and seam seal this thing up, coat it, be done with it. After, you know, you can't buy that speckle paint, so you can kind of speckle over it. I just think the idea of having a bit of a textured trunk floor, I mean, we're gonna have rust, we're not gonna get away from, we're gonna have lap welds, we're gonna have seam sealer. And it's a trunk of a Camaro, nobody cares. So, clean up, vacuum, grind, rinse, repeat, seam seal. Actually, I gotta run out and get some truck bed coatings. We'll do that later. So it probably doesn't look much different at all. I use clear silicone. I always find the clear silicone or seam sealer, sorry, just spreads better. I don't know why. But we got on all the little gaps. I went over kind of everything there. I use these squeegees, man. You get them off Amazon. They're like pennies a piece. Use them, flatten it out, throw them away. And then once we, a little truck bed coating on there, it'll be pretty good. Back here, I didn't go too crazy. We still got to fit in the latch and whatnot, so that'll probably be ground down at some point and put back on, but that's when we're doing the quarter panels. I'd like to get this all painted, so we're gonna let this up. I think it could be coated in half an hour, but we'll let it sit for a little bit. I gotta get something to eat, have a bit of a break, and run out and get the truck bed coating. That's what I wanna use on it. We'll get everything taken care of, and yeah, everything's been rust converted, or it's new metal, or whatever, it's gonna be protected. So we should be good. We'll do top and bottom. And I think we'll call her a day. I'll be pretty impressed with this thing. All the ugly work, I think, is done. I mean, there's probably some little stuff here and there I get taken care of, but the real gross stuff is over. So that's a pretty big moment. Go celebrate with a grilled cheese sandwich. It's been about a half hour. I'm gonna go ahead and, well, it's been longer than maybe an hour. We're gonna go ahead and do a quick truck bed coat. Let her dry and we'll finish this video off. So it's a little ways in the future. But look at this. So the seam sealer is, oh yeah, she's all dry. Everything's all painted. So I truck bed coated the whole deal. So that's all taken care of. I mean, it looks, whatever, how it looks. You can see where I smeared on the seam sealer and all that. But no one's jamming a screwdriver through anything. It's gonna be, she's sturdy, and man, it's like just, it's way strong now. So that's pretty awesome. And then underneath I did as well. We'll just go up so Danny can, you probably just walk right under it, you're so short. This car has been a lot of work. Me and Danny were just talking about like, it sure came off the rails, but I am glad I did it. We could have cheated certain areas and not done this and undercoated that and plated a few things, and it would have been fine. But this is a pretty solid car now, and I think it's done fairly well, coming from me. Almost there, almost there. You guys are literally watching a car go up in the air. That's the kind of entertainment that makes you happy. You got a light here, you can just come, yeah, you can show it in there. You don't even gotta crouch down or nothing. But I got all underneath, all done. No, what is this? No, under here. This is what we want. Look at that. What were you looking at? This is where all the hard work was.
Oh, it doesn't look like it.
It doesn't look like it. Nothing from, everything from here back literally didn't exist.
Wow. No, you did a good job. I came out and I saw you cutting and grinding and.
So now we can, this is the longest road ever to put a set of quarters on. But the quarters are already on and they kind of were test fit. We got to modify this one. The other side fit a fair bit better. Hopefully nothing moved with all the miscellaneous we did there and the welding and putting the heat to it, but I'm pretty confident. So the next video, quarters will go on, and I'm thinking permanently for sure. Like, I don't want to take them off again. We got to put this door back on this side. So we'll slap this door on, make sure it lines up with the quarter, and then if that all works, then I can weld that rocker in permanent, and then it's like, it's gonna look like a car. I mean, there'll be a lot of new black panels on this thing, that's for damn sure. And then I gotta screw around, there's some broken bolts, unfortunately, in the cowl for the fender. So we gotta get that taken care of, but hopefully by the next video, doors back will be permanent. Adjustment will be needed, obviously. Then we can pull all the interior stuff out. Finish the floors. So I wanna plate the bottom of the floor and the top of the floor. So from here to about here, I haven't touched yet. Everything else, I think, has been undercoated and whatnot. So we just got that one little section, and then, yeah, it'll come together in a friggin' hurry. People are telling me, don't cheap out on the seats, make sure the nice interior. Man, I'm burnt out in this car, and the Visa has been a smoking with all the friggin' new panels and stuff like that. So we might take a bit of a break from it, but it's pretty cool. I like this car. It's coming together. Once the quarters are on, it'll look like something. I was not planning on taking it this far apart or doing this nice of a job, I tell you that. And I say that, and then someone in the comments is gonna say, you're a hack. I'm gonna say, you're probably correct, sir. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe below. Check out, what was the channel? Your channel, More Schmoo. Oh, right, More Schmoo. Coattail Speed Shop.
More Schmoo with Dee Dee Speed Shop.
So she does a video once a week, and we do live streams sometimes.
Yeah.
Saturdays. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.
Check out the Facebook.
Oh yeah, check out Facebook. Danny's all over Facebook. She's doing stuff on there, and she's working on t-shirts and button-up shirts and hats, and she's spending my money like there's no tomorrow.
What's a woman for?
We'll see you on the next one.